A few weeks ago, I was hearing a lot of drama coming around Outcome Memories, then hearing the game was back after they said it was shutting down. Only now I've seen a whole announcement saying that the game is dead, dunzo. I'm gonna have a look at this drama from a neutral standpoint, and hopefully we'll get this right and let you know my opinions on it. For those who have clicked on the video knowing the drama, I hope you're happy with what my opinions are on this, and the people who have clicked this not knowing what the situation is, I hope I'll explain it well enough. I'm going to be explaining this purely on what I've seen and what I've heard of other people, so once again, if I'm wrong here, please let me know in the comments, because I want to learn more about it, and the videos at the minute that I've been seeing have just been angry people yelling about the game. I'd much prefer a neutral standpoint and them actually telling me what's going on here. So if anyone has a video to tell me such, please show me that as well. So there was a developer, I believe, called Romeo, who was working on Outcome Memories. You know, I've heard a lot of players say how much they liked him because he gave them some hope. Yeah, they gave him a glimmer of hope, apparently, from what I heard Romeo did. So, so from what I'm seeing, Romeo joined the dev team, gave the fans some hope and really wanted to help out with the game. He also owned two of the characters, which I believe are these two. Okay, so Romeo posted, by the way, update on the firing. Still no clear answers or confessions about who wanted to fire me, not even privately. The situation's just awful. So, if these lot weren't... I imagine these are like 16 to 18 year olds working on this game. So, I've heard a lot of just... the whole dramas that were going on in the past could have easily been handled, I heard, just by handling it privately and not going public. But it seems like all they want to do is go public in this, the owners. I've also heard that the development team have nothing to do with this, it's purely the two owners. Here we go. Well, for starters, we aren't happy with how you've been managing things yourself, Romeo. We are upset with how you instantly went public, but brought us into assumptions yesterday. If you did read the full message, or just read part of it, you were fired and we didn't want to talk with Lua directly. So, for this first part, we'll go, we're not happy with how you've been managing things. However, from what I've heard from the fanbase, Romeo has been kind of carrying it on his back, this glimmer of hope to keep this game alive. Now, I'll be honest, anyone who can make a fanbase happy, you don't want to get rid of, especially for no reason. I feel like that's just common sense. If a fanbase like a guy, probably don't get rid of him for no reason. I had to come talk to you regarding your own concerns of some things that of course involved PR, which you managed to do. Of course this didn't lead to anywhere too much because you continued to post actively on your socials, which brought other things to us but made a lot more skeptical about you and your intentions. You made things sound twisted in almost every statement. You've even today, and no, you've attempted to pull an out-as move, which is a scummy thing to do, Romeo. You're hurting real people and placing others in danger, and for that I ask why. For starters, I only posted that tweet about my filing as early as I did, because Lua told me he was making my resign public for an announcement the literal moment he DM'd everything to me while I was asleep. It's explicitly stated as such in his message. I felt like I had the right to take this well to my socials to clarify the end of my things the moment I was made notice of his DM. After the PR situation, I continued to post my frustrations with the situations because quite literally no one was talking to me about it, which is fair. Once again, imagine you're working somewhere and some guy's like, alright, you're fired. Not telling you why. Get out. Shoo. Like, I'd be pretty annoyed too. I mean, pretty annoyed's an understatement. I'd be fuming. To be fair to a guy, once again, don't know how old he is. He's handling it quite well. No one involved. No one with the slight bit of info outside PR. No one. I didn't have any bad intentions with my post, but this also clocks back to another general issue with the team this has, and that's communication. Now, once again, I've watched other videos because I don't know too much about the drama. I've heard that communication's quite an issue, and that there's been a lot of harassment towards people and a lot of backwards things, not telling them what they've done wrong and just letting them deal with a few slight words. I've heard that's happened quite a lot with outcome memories. No one told me the harm that was coming from my posts, even the countless ones where I state not to attack anyone, even now Romeo's got a pinned tweet saying do not harass anyone. This comes down to me simply not knowing anything. Here we go. The statements I made today were ones I posted because I'm tired of this, Sobe. Why would I be kicked from the dev server without notice again, without DMs again, and while I'm asleep again? So, once again, I don't know a lot about this. If this has happened before, is this not, like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to put my head around it. These lot are, like, once again, I'll say it for a millionth time, they're probably young adults, they're probably not used to this, they don't know how to handle these things. But come on, like, you've had so much drama before, do you not learn from it? The amount of videos I've watched where people say, oh, I've lost faith in the developers of outcome memories. How do you keep making these decisions so poor to say how illogical this is? Especially considering all of it could have been avoided with just common sense and keeping it private. Only going public and not private, that's just like feeding for interactions. It also got to my point today where I just didn't know who to go to. Once again, because no one was messaging the person they just fired, not even letting them know why. Especially after your own post last night about you quitting, you were not on my mind then for those concerns. So then they respond to that saying, first of all, you were kicked from the server because you already fired. Plus, also, like, here's the problem, like, Sobe. You haven't told them why. Your removal of work that you already publicly made clear. I already did personally admit the whole message that was sent to you this morning didn't give enough clarification. And you, like, once again, you've admitted that. I haven't clarified why. So why are you being so angry? Like, hi, I haven't told you why you've been fired. Why you going public about this? Why are you getting angry? I know I went public, but, you know, you're not allowed to. You're meant to just stay quiet about this. Along with seeing everyone reacting extremely negative towards Low and the Outcome Memories team, thought would never cross your mind that the tweets could bring calm. That's like such a ridiculous thing to say though. Anything you do online will have positive and negative reactions. If the person who's complaining about this situation is saying don't send any hate, like for example, I'll say it now, don't send anyone hate. It's not my fault now if people go and send hate. I've given the warning, I've said don't do it. All these people like are learning through life. The last thing they need is harassment. It's not this person's fault for going public after not being told anything because they've been unfairly kicked and now is getting the blame for them getting harassed. Because no, it's not their fault at all. It's not Romeo's fault you're getting harassed because of your decisions. If you didn't go public, you wouldn't be getting harassed right now. You would not be getting harassed if you went private like you should have with other issues. This is like incredibly long right now. I'm gonna let you just scan through it all. And I'll literally just do it like this so you can scan through. You can pause it as you please. So, based on what you're saying, you had no intent of threatening or endangering anyone at all? No. Okay. And can you explain what's meant by any breaking of respect to my boundaries will result in deeper trouble we don't need to be dealing with right now? Is that just a threat? For a record, the only reason I have this is because I received from a messenger who's just trying to help everyone, though they're not involved. Let's have a look here then. Well, until he confronts me about it, and until him and I discuss whatever this dumpster fire of the situation is, I will not be making any announcements or statements about this situation. I still do not think this is fair to me in the slightest, and it does not deserve public attention notice until after this has been settled in a fair matter. I request that you, Who, and Devilish keep this entire thing private until settled fairly. Any breaking of a request and my boundaries result in deeper trouble. Do you know what that means? It means don't go public or I'll go public. Not I'm gonna make people harass you online. What is this guilt tripping? You've gaslit this person into thinking they maybe shouldn't have said anything. Because, oh my god. Right, sorry, I'm trying to comprehend this and not complain too much. Does this change the fact that you've still clearly imposed something favourable to occur against these, should your request not be met? A threat is defined as a statement of intention to inflict pain, injury or damage, or other hostile action on someone in retribution for something done or not done, which evidently seems to be the case here. Even if Romeo didn't speak out against this, you'd still be getting harassment because you haven't clarified why he's been fired. And if Romeo were to just keep quiet, people would surely be like, well, we're gonna find out eventually. And when they do find out, you'd be in even more shit. Here's the thing, you were going to get hate from this decision. Once again, from what comments are saying, everything like that, quite literally just gaslighting him into an apology. A heavy thing everyone's saying is that they are emotionally manipulating him. Stuff like this. Whenever Sobi is caught doing something wrong, look at their messages. He says he's taken accountability, but his posts are about how he feels so bad for himself and how he can't sleep and how he can't stop crying and how Bonely or Altaz or Raven are the ones pressuring him. But it's never his fault, is it? Like, once again, he handled it poorly. And is he taking accountability? From what I'm seeing, no, not really. It's just this whole situation to me is give young people power and ability online, and they're not gonna take it well. From what I'm seeing though, the game looks dead. It looks dead to me, but yeah. People are posting now saying, oh, it's over, the game's dead, it's done for real this time. I don't know if it will or not, but from the amount of times there's been a drama so recently together as well, I don't think there's a point in trying to carry this on unless you just get a whole new dev team to relive this situation. Because there's only so much controversy you can have before it just starts killing the game. People have already said they've given up, they've lost hope of them trying to carry on here, because they're just losing more and more trust, and the more and more controversy that will happen if they choose to carry this on is just going to kill the game off. On the bright side of all of this though, which I would want to point out, is that Romeo has been picked up by the Bite by Night team. Now, I haven't heard too much about this game. I think it's going to be like a, I don't know what the genre's called, but, like Outcome Memories, like Forsaken. And it's going to be like a FNAF one. He's apparently been, brought in by him, so, you know what? It's a happy ending in some case. But for, once again, the EXE fanbase, and it's a really live, good fanbase. I'm a massive fan of EXE. I wasn't really too heavily a fan of the game, but getting to see the game die down now, just because of, power trips, mainly, and just the inability to handle things like adults, how that's killed a game off is just there's not a lot you can do but just watch it happen. I imagine there will be another Sonic game that comes up eventually, which people will want to bring up, but for now it's just I'm afraid, from the look of it, it's dead, and if they try carry it on, I imagine we'll be back in this situation in less than a month's time. But that's been my opinion. Please, though, I genuinely mean this. Anything that I say that's a bit incorrect, or if I'm asking for help, please let me know. I'm really interested about this situation, and I wanted to let a neutral standpoint come out. But it's been me. Thank you for watching, and yeah.